Hey guys, my name's Moon and welcome back for more Umineko When They Cry, episode number 6. So last time it was a duel between Shannon and Cannon, and yes, as expected, Shannon won, but then a lot of interesting stuff happened, right? Especially with Beatrice. That was really good. So we're back here, I guess, in the wedding. It's over. And I guess, yeah, we're back with investigations, I think, right? So let us continue. The marriage ceremony ended without any problems, and the reception was held inside the cathedral. As the goat demons parted raucously, Dianor could be seen leaning against a pillar, trying to escape from the noise. Then Gertrude appeared and whispered some kind of report to her.
それは本当ですか?
近景。現在コーネリア補佐官が現場保全に向かいたるものなりや。エリカ卿にも中心すべきかと存じ上げ立てまつる。
わかりました。ご中心申し上げます。ガートルードは式典警備長に連絡です。準戦闘配備。
Prepare for battle.
御意。ご歓談中、失礼いたします。本式典警備長であります。
え？私？なに？なんかよ。
だからはしゃぎすぎだって言ったのよ。さすがにシャンパンタワーでボーリングはやりすぎだわ。少し油を絞られてきなさい。
ベルン、こら！もう何よ、私なんかした？
受付に差出人不明のラムダデルタ卿宛てと記された封筒が届けられました。
私、非通知と差出人不明は全部ポイしちゃう主義なの。そんなの捨てちゃって。
それがこれなのですが。
何それ？これ届いたことは誰かに言った？
Okay, we got a letter.
いえ、受付の姉妹兵2名と私のみです。すでに箝口令を与えました。
The instant she saw the envelope, Lambda Delta snatched it away and lowered her voice. Byrne Castle had walked away and was apparently making fun of Erica. Byrne and of course Erica were both drunk. If they were left alone, they'd probably forget about this. It's true that this envelope has no sender written on it. However, the seal done on it in gold leaf fulfills the same purpose. This seal is... Lambda Delta hid behind a pillar, ripped the envelope open, took out its contents and read them. Her eyes instantly started to glint, and she smiled like a kid who's just thought of a nasty trick.
いかがしますか？狙撃班は赤色弾頭を携行しています。
Red warheads?
ご許可をいただければ装填命令を出します。
何言ってんのよ。今日はどんだけ豪華な来賓が来てると思ってんの？万一参列者に流れ弾が当たったら。シエスタこの得体の新しい妹たちは向こう10年は工場から弾頭台に直行しなきゃなんないくらいの責任になるわよ。
了解。通常弾頭で対応するであります。煉獄の7姉妹には監視をつけますか？
いるわけないでしょ。だって7杭はバトラの、そして今やエリカの家具じゃない。どうして味方に監視をつけちゃうの？と とにかく警備を、まあそこそこにちゃちゃっと厳重にしなさい。
先ほどガートルード上席補佐官より準戦闘配備勧告を受けました。理由は不明であります。
ガートルードがふふじゃあ勧告に従っちゃいなさい。パーティーは賑やかな方がいいってことでしょ。
了解であります。 WO よりシエスタ17、シエスタ38、シエスタ45、コード R、警戒発令。レベル2で待機を伝達。
17コピー。
38コピー。
I wish that what do you call this? The other Chester sisters had character sprites, right?
45了解。そこでコピーといえばかっこいいのにね。焦っちゃってつい。そうそう45。ちょっとこっち来て。なんです？ちょっと任務中です。ダメ、耳をいじんないで。耳おったくね。
なんですって？冗談でしょ？ありえない。
現在コーネリアを向かわせています。ベアトリーチェがここを襲撃する可能性が極めて大です。披露宴を中断されて退避されることを進言いたします。
どうしたのエリカ？何か余興に手違いでも？いいえ、我が主。どうぞ。誰かベルンカステル卿に梅干しワインのおかわりを。
Erica didn't have time to hide her agitation. When Berncastle saw this, she knew that their final late guests had finally arrived.
ルシネ、ゲストハウスで動きがあったそうよ。
ゲストハウス？ゲーム版のことなんか今はくだらない話だわ。
それが密室のいとこ部屋からカノン君が失踪したって。
はあ？あんた分かってんの？いとこ部屋は扉も窓も完璧に封印されてる完全密室じゃない。失踪なんて不可能だわ。
いや、私も裏を取ってきた。間違いない。カノンはいとこ部屋より姿を消している。
Canon has disappeared from the cousin room.
いとこ部屋のどこかに隠れてるとか、あるいは最初からうまくごまかしてもともと部屋に入ってなかったとか。
不可能だわ。いとこ部屋にはエリカ卿が読み上げた特定個人数名以外の全員が入ってることが保証されてるのよ。
Yeah, I'm kind of confused. Why are they saying disappeared? I mean, didn't he die?
ごまかして逃れることは不可能だわ。
Yeah, in the guest room, right? Jessica was crying.
どうやってユングフラウの封印結界を？いや、それよりカノンは一体どこへ？至急探しなさい。
At that moment, the cathedral suddenly went black. The surprised commotions of the guests filled the cathedral.
来たわね。
Very nice entrance, man. I mean, I did, like, Kanon did say earlier, or yeah, last time, right? That you need to be like a witch, right?
WO よりオールシエスタ。
That's why we started with the letter earlier.
コード R 警戒。シエスタ17、電源系統回復は？
ネガティブ。管理室スタッフとの通信が途絶中。
オールシエスタ コードレッドロックンロール。コピーコピー。
了解。じゃなくてコピー。
The sniper teams in the chandeliers all released their safeties at once. The entire security team down in the hall loaded their ammunition.
エリカ卿、控室へ退避を。ここは危険です。
何が危険なんです？この世界の領主は私です。その私が何に怯えて逃げろと言うんです。
ガートルード、要人警護結界準備。コーネリアを至急呼び戻すのです。
近景対応中なりや。
結界？あんたらの無様でみっともない結界で婚礼衣装の私を包もうってんですか？なんたる侮辱！
This disturbance made even Butler groan as he sat in the next seat over like a doll. Even with his soul sealed, Butler probably realized that something strange was going on.
遅かったじゃない。ねえ、ラムダ。
そうね。待ちくたびれちゃったわね。
さっきのあれ、何？誰からのラブレター？
ファンレターよ。ラムダちゃんファンクラブの。
Lambda Delta played dumb and munched some popcorn. Then the lights finally turned on. It was clear that during that blackout, Beatrice had snuck in somewhere nearby, possibly even inside the cathedral itself. The whispering demon attendants all realized it as well. Whose schemes was this and what were they doing? Though it may have been imprudent, they were looking forward to this, and an excited chatter filled the cathedral.
来たみたいね。
カープ。あなた、もう戻ってきていいんですか？
私にほら、牢屋って意味ないし。
確かに。
でもリーチェ、バトラの密室もいとこ部屋も、そして唯一可能性のあった隣部屋も全て封じられてしまった。どうやってバトラを救い出す気なの？
お嬢様が何かのトリック X を用意できたと仮定しましょう。となればそれをエリカ卿に突きつけるべく乗り込んでくるは必至。
しかしこの大勢のシエスタ兵たちが相手では、まさかこんなに隠れていたなんて。無理だわ、縫い殺されてしまう。
Rabbit ears dashed all about the hall. Incredible that she could remain hidden and unnoticed with so many people around.
エリカに一度だけ肉薄するチャンスがあれば、五分の勝負までは持ち込めるわ。
なるほど、その手ですか。しかしそのアイテムをお嬢様がお持ちだといいのですが、いつも面倒くさがっていくらご用意しても嫌われていましたからな。やれやれ、最後まで世話の焼けるお嬢様だ。
Amid the crowd, Ronove took something out and showed it. When Virgilia saw, she understood what that in his hand meant. True, with that, it should be possible to stop the attacks from the Chiester troops.
まあエリカに聞かなきゃそれまでだけどね。問題はたった一度でもいいからエリカの真正面まで行けるかだわ。シエスタたちはそれを断固阻止するはずよ。 リーアならその時間をプレゼントできそうね。
Virgilia gave a small nod. However, the problem was that the two Chiester troops standing at her back. Since at times she tried to jump out in front of the procession, she had been marked constantly. It was possible with Virgilia's vast magical power to momentarily take out all of the Chiester troops in the cathedral. That would only gain a short bit of time, but it would be enough to confront Erica. The Chiester troops knew this, so they kept a close eye on Virgilia with tense faces. At that moment, the great cathedral door was blasted to bits. The fragments became bright gold butterflies which danced across the room in a beautiful blizzard of gold leaf. That golden storm slowly faded away. Then, at the entrance to the red-carpeted path to the grave, a calm, majestic figure was...
警護隊射殺せよ。
ネガティブ。身元照合中。
The honor ordered the guards to shoot the intruder right away, but Chiester 00 didn't understand, or did not respond, sorry. Was it because she had been warned about shooting the guest and was afraid of the consequences of possibly shooting a drunk guest pulling some sort of prank? No, 00 was just coolly and calmly carrying out her duties.
おや、これは。てっきりご欠席かと思っていましたよ。
The pair faced each other from either end of the long red carpet. However, in between them stood several dozen Chiester honor guards.
最高の来賓であるあなたがお越しにならないので、ご心配申し上げておりましたとも。でもせめて、披露宴には間に合ってよかった。
Is she back? Is Beatrice back? Did they fuse them? Beato laughed. That chuckle made Butler's eyes quiver slightly. The thing is, are they back or did they fuse? Is she back or is this just chick Beato pretending, right? Oh no. Look at her eyes though. She's back.
祝福に来たぜ。
She had an overpowering and evil presence about her, strong enough to make anyone shiver. Was there really any need to confirm her identity now? Who else could possess such an overwhelming presence?
ベアトリーチェー。
地獄で会おうぜはわらわの好む別れの挨拶言葉であるが。
身元確認。大ベアトリーチェ教徒確認。
The great Lady Beatrice is back.
まさにここがそうだぜ。フルドエリカ
At the moment, two Chiester troops standing behind Virgilia slumped over and fell to the floor. Ronove had touched the base of their big ears from behind. It was clear that they applied some sort of magic.
どなたかお医者様を。
Someone find a doctor, but not for me.
お嬢さん方が貧血のようだ。
オールシエスタ、オープンファイヤー。ベアト、今です。
Just an instant before the Chiester troops could fire, Virgilia raised her arms to the heavens. Her magical power, which was more than enough, To remind all present what her name had meant at the height of her strength, became a spirit wave that exploded throughout the cathedral. It's shock wave and made the stained glass windows shatter and the colorful glass shards poured down everywhere.
冷戦防御復旧急げ
However, all of the Chiester honor guards who didn't have the spirit particle defenses toppled over like dolls. The ceiling snipers were defended and able to avoid a crash, but it would take several minutes before the system could be rebooted. That span of time should be enough to reach Erica. However, it wouldn't be possible to defeat Erica in just a few minutes. There was no way they'd be able to carry Butler away in that time. What else could they use this precious time for? Beato dashed down the red carpeted path. She ran down the path to the grave, which was lined by Chiester troops lying there like corpses. She had called this place hell. In that case, running from hell to the grave was actually going backwards. Beato's figure dashing through the corpse-ridden path truly symbolized her resurrection.
お嬢様、これを。
もらうぞ
As she dashed, she snatched something white from Ronovis' outstretched hand. There was no longer anyone blocking her path to Erica. However, at that instant, a golden thread came in front of her and rapidly sewed through the red carpet towards her like a sewing machine.
Oh, 邪魔者がいたか。
再装填完了。データ要求に。射撃用レーダー補足。410へデータリンク。
She had predicted the Virgilia would go for a spirit particle attack and had folded her ears and 45s over beforehand. So they were the only ones who weren't taken out.
射撃
Once again, the golden sewing thread chased after Beato, weaving like a sewing machine. It was as though an undulating golden snake was shooting after her.
こしゃくな。エリカとの一騎打ちの貴重な時間を邪魔しよって。
Beato jumped sideways away from the red carpet and then dashed across the long table covered with beautiful food. The gold snake chased her, sewing through the pure white tablecloth like a sewing machine and scattering dishes left and right. The goat attendants ran about wildly trying to escape. The cathedral was wrapped in pandemonium.
霊視攻撃を避けていたウサギがいたなんて。
まずい。あんなところに陣取られてはどうにもなりません。
The pair of snipers attacking from the chandelier high above were much more further away than Erica was, too far for Beato to reach. Furthermore, their position landed the entire cathedral inside their range of fire.
お気の毒にベアトリーチェ様、恋の試練は過酷に。45 追加弾
これ
Gaop handed her the magazine. 45 always handed him over backwards, so 410 was a bit confused to have a one handed to her the right way up. No matter how distant a position they might take, it was no problem for the elusive Gaop. Gaop twisted their long ears up and then tickled them with her thumbs. The Chiester's greatest weapon was also their greatest weakness. The two doubled over with laughter.
この2匹は抑えたけど、あと何秒？他のシエスタが再起動する。
On the other chandeliers, even more powerful Chiesters were slowly starting to move again. It would be impossible to buy any more time.
ガープか。ありがたい。本に切る。リーアたちも褒めてあげて。ベアト、頑張りなさい。しっか
り。もう時間がありませんぞ。
エリカ
Beato cut through the crowd of scampering goats like Moses. It's hilarious though, yeah. Beatrice screaming at Erika like that. Her goal was straight in front of her, the place where Erika and Butler were seated. Then a red barrier took form, blocking her path. It was a VIP guarding the barrier that Gertrude had set up. She stepped forward and laid out a last line of defense to block Beato's path.
禁忌これ以上の接近を許さないものと知りたまえ。
そんな壁でわらわを止められると思うか。
シエスタ再起動まであと何秒です？
30秒ないです。
As the oldest of the seven sisters of Purgatory, Lucifer stood in waiting behind the bride and groom. She wanted to save Beato. If she could just distract Gertrude for a moment, the wall would disappear. However, the seven sisters were furniture. They served the territory lord, so they couldn't move to help Beato. The Honor glanced over at Lucifer. There was a coercive tint to her eyes.
あなたは主の命令ない限り動くことは許されません。
主って誰よ。
バカね。エリカのやつってことになってるでしょ。
違うわよ。私たちの主はバトラ様だわ。そうだ。エリカはその代理に過ぎない。
そうよお姉様。私たちは誰の家具？美味しすぎるわ。つまみ食いしちゃおう。
The red absolute barrier flickered for just an instant. Beelzebub's stake had pierced Gertrude's shoulder and her concentration had wavered. But it didn't break. Slowly and expressionlessly, Gertrude turned to look at Lucifer.
誰の命令なりや。エリカ教にその指示はなきなりと知りたまえ。
あるわ。我らが主の命令よ。
物言えぬ主に何を命令できるというなりや。
物聞かずとも、それを察するが家具の道と見つけたり。
ならやむもなし。
The seven snakes shot at Gertrude at once. Gertrude had chosen to take all of those direct attacks, refusing to abandon the barrier until the last moment. Though she was resilient enough to be called a literal Iron Maiden and received no damage at all, it was more than enough to make her flinch and lose control of the barrier.
上出来だ、我が家具たち。
Beato shot through the scattered red fragments of the barrier, and she was finally right in front of the bride. I was gonna say bird. Bride, her rival Erica. However, there stood the final shield protecting Erica. Death sentence, the Anor.
遅いです。もはや時間切れです。ベアトリチェ卿。
シエスタ17よりオールシエスタへデータリンク。大天使衛星よりデータ入電。誘導方式氷結型概念誘導。
シエスタ20再起動完了。
シエスタ127再起動完了。
はい。そこらめラーメン。
リチェ、幸運を。
ドラロール。どけ、ドラノール・エーノックス。そなたの出番はない。
あなたを否定する赤き真実をベルンカステル教より賜っています。ここがあなたの墓場となり残念です。
I don't know what Burnt Castle has allowed her to say. However, I don't need to sit around and let that long sword tell me.
そなたとは後でたっぷりと遊んでやろうぞ。だが今はどけ。
There's no time. The Chesters have already finished reactivating. I'm only living on a bit of borrowed time.
引くのはあなたの方です。出番を間違えた哀れな出演者があなたです。
The Anor's red longsword cut a large arc of absolute denial, which headed straight for the crown of Beato's head. However, in that instant, there was a thunk and the curve missed slightly. Beato didn't let this good fortune go to waste. She slipped past the longsword and knocked the Honor aside, and finally stood right in front of Erica. This time, not a single person stood in her way. The commotion quieted. However, no one shot. Why? They could have shot if they wanted to. All of the Chester troops had completely targeted her and removed their safeties. Of course, all of them had finished reactivating. However, they hesitated to pull the trigger.
なぜ射殺せぬことなりや。式典警備役は直ちに。
待つのです。あれは。
Look at that. The honor's expression grew grim. Then she quietly put her red long sword away. After all, Erica would have to make a decision. If she decided to ignore it, they could shoot to kill. However, if Erica picked that up, they must not do so. So they couldn't pull the triggers until Erica decided.
どうして誰も撃たないの？
よく見なさいよ、あれ。ベアトがエリカに投げつけたあれよ。
It was hard to see from the balcony. Beato had thrown something like a white handkerchief at Erica. It had fallen to Erica's feet. What was that white thing?
わかってるわ、あいつ。主役ってもんを本当によくわかってるわ。
面白いじゃないですか。
That thing that had hit Erica in the face and had fallen to the floor was a white glove that Beato had gotten from Ronove. Hitting someone with a glove like that could only mean one thing. It was...
ゼタル、これは何？どういう意味なの？
これは決闘の申し込みさ。手袋を拾えばそれを受け入れることを意味する。
拾わなければシエスタたちが殺してくれるわ。拾う必要ないじゃない。
拾わなくてもいいさ。でも決闘を逃げたおめえを僕らと参列の悪魔処刑は3回すべてに知らしめるだろうね。恋の決闘を逃げた臆病者の名を永遠にね。
Beatrice waited firmly and composedly. If Erica just kicked it away, then at that very instant, the Chiesers would probably all fire at once, turning her into golden embroidery. So Erica didn't have to pick it up. However, she could not afford to be afraid of picking it up. After all, she was the true victor, who had defeated Butler's closed room trick and logic. If she was the victor, she should have nothing to fear. So if she was afraid of doing it, it would prove that she still felt a tinge of doubt about her victory.
拾わなければ私はこの衣装を汚すことなくあんたを殺してしまいますね。
それも披露宴の余興には面白い。だがそなたは拾うさ。
へえ、どうしてです？
わらわがそなたにぴったりの最高の土産を持ってきたからだ。そなたはそれが知りたい。だから拾うさ。
興味ないです。さようなら。
拾うさ。わらわが持ってきたバトラの客室などくだらぬもっ とシンプルで単純で絶対に解けぬ密室をそなたは聞きたいはずさ。
絶対解けぬ密室。
そなたはわらわの挑戦を受けたいはずさ。なぜならそなたは探偵だからだ。
You are the detective. Oh, her outfit changed instantly. Erica threw off her wedding dress as though it were a cape. Yes, before she is a bride or a piece of a witch, she is one thing first and foremost.
私は探偵です。
I am the detective.
あなたを私の対戦相手に認めます。ただ、あなたはこのゲームに登場する資格をロジックエラーは修正できたんでしょうね。
その手袋を拾えばそなたとの戦いの中でそれが修正できたことを証明しようぞ。
グッド。
The cathedral was filled with chatter. Erica had picked up the glove. A duel, a duel. The cathedral was wrapped in a bizarre excitement. At Erica's nod, the honor pushed the crowd away, leaving the pair alone. People were permitted to witness this duel. However, no one would be allowed to interfere in any way.
Butler さん、大丈夫です。あなたを助ける方法はもう見つけました。
どうやって。
See, it's still her though. It's still Chick Beato. See?
今、あなたを助け出します。もうしばらくだけ辛抱してください。
Actually, I'm kind of confused right now. Did they fuse, or is she? Yeah, I mean, maybe she's still Chick Beato, and then she was just pretending, yeah, earlier, right, to be like the other Beatrice. Beato's resolute expression returned, and she grinned boldly, looking down on Erica. Or maybe we could say that they already fused, and she has this, I guess, this kind of personality now, right? She is Chick Beato, she is the elder Beato, and then, yeah, the past Beato that we had back then. It's a combination of all of them. Maybe? I don't know. There can be no doubt. That's an expression worn only by the Golden Witch, the presence of the gold, or the master of closed rooms. A shadow dashed through the stormy rose garden. It was incredibly light and swift. The raindrops never touched him. He made no splashes in the countless puddles. His feet left no tracks in the mud. That rushing figure was Canon. Oh, they're showing us how Canon did it. Then he ran up the stairs to the entrance of the mansion. He did not slow down in the slightest to open the door. He ran straight at it as though trying to break through and leapt into it. Through the door, or though the door was shut, even that couldn't stop Canon. He slipped through the door, fell into the entranceway, and slowly stood up. His body wasn't even wet. And as he recalled those nostalgic days spent serving the Oshinomiya family, which would never come again, he ran once more. He was heading for Butler's guest room. He ran past the servant room, through the entrance hall, and past the door to the parlor, Then the doors to the kitchen and the dining hall came into sight. All of it brings back fond memories. There was the honor and riggedy of serving Kinzo directly. However, that man wasn't rigid all the time. When the family was out of sight and he didn't have to persevere that air of majesty, his face could turn unbelievably childish, and he would sometimes ask me to take part in strange pranks. The master let me shoot lots of guns, didn't he? That was pretty fun. Okay. That is new information that we learned, right? Is that new? The master let me shoot a lot of guns. Okay. Krausama was actually surprisingly kind. He must have gotten the impression that the master bullied me a lot. Whenever I was the only one around, he would talk to me in a very familiar way, almost as though he was a classmate of mine. I sort of regret that I held back and never did anything but nod in return. Madam was a really strict person. Ever since some rumor went around saying that she was strict on female servants but soft towards male servants, I get the feeling she viewed me as an enemy. However, she was a woman to be pitied. When I've seen her alone, I've noticed her shoulders sag with the pain of many times. There were a lot of servants weren't there. Some lasted a short while, others stayed a long time. Genji-sama was the one person I might have called my father. I am both grateful and resentful towards him over many things. Okay. They all mix together, cancel out, and I end up with a neutral emotion. In that case, Kumasawa-san could probably be called my mother. She helped me out many times. I have always wanted to repay her someday. And now I've lost that chance for all time. It's nice seeing this, man, I'm not gonna lie. Shannon is my Nesan. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to be me. Thanks for teaching me that the ocean is blue. Goda? I hate that guy. Oh my god. The Goda, come on. Still, when I complimented his stew, he would sometimes turn red and say there was enough for seconds. That is the only thing that Goda wants. He just wants to be noticed. That's what he wanted in this whole game. He just wanted to be acknowledged and noticed by people. That's it for him. I didn't dislike that part of him. But yeah, he can be, I guess his attitude, let's say, right? Yeah, it can be bad, especially towards Kanon and Shannon. They did mention that in the beginning, right? That Goda was kind of like treating them badly because they were much more, I guess, not superior is a bad word, but they're much more higher ranked, Kanon and Shannon, because they were working there much longer than Goda, and Goda was pretty much new. But yeah, Goda was much more older, so he didn't like, I guess, being underneath them. Yeah, something like that. I wonder why such a strong memory popped up at an instant I ran past the dining hall. And then, my memories of Jessica. Ooh, it's a boy servant. How old are you? I think those were the first words she spoke to me. Come to think about it, she was probably interested in me ever since then. I mean, I guess I really did have enough time to build up a love that wouldn't lose to George Sama and Shannon's. But since I could only see the gray sea, I wasted almost of that time, or all of the time. Why does she like, or what does she like about me? What do I like about her? I got the feeling we never really made that clear. True. I think for Jessica, her liking Kanon is because Kanon is pretty much, yeah, I guess, a same or closer age to her, and we can say that, yeah, he's a boy. I mean, he's a boy, but yeah, closer age to him or to her. I mean, I think that's primarily it. And they're on the island, right? So yeah, I guess that's it. No, she told me. We should have stayed together longer to eventually find out. At least, I guess in the beginning, let's just say that, right? It would have been fine to find reasons for our love later. It took me far too long though to realize that. Now, I think I can accept it. I know why Shannon won the duel. God, I was gonna say Goda. God must have been watching. You had so much more courage than I did, and God didn't abandon you. I reached the hallway with the guest rooms. There was someone lying on the ground. It was Butler. He was lying just outside the guest room, a chain tied to his neck. He had probably struggled to do something with the chain lock from the outside until he lost consciousness. His fingernails on both hands had been torn off and they were stained with blood. I could tell at a glance just how hard he tried until the final moment when his heart had died. The collar binding him wouldn't disappear unless a chain was set.
バトラ様、大丈夫です。今、お助けします。
Butler responded faintly. He probably hadn't even imagined that help would come to this eternal closed room. He was so scared that this might be an authority or auditory hallucination brought about by a fleeting delusion, that he couldn't bear to open his eyes easily. Ganon grabbed the butler by the arms and dragged him into the room. The inside of the room was terrible. The windows had been brutally shattered and the wind and the rain had made its way inside. All kinds of tools and furniture lay broken there. However, Butler hadn't smashed them out of rage. The curtain had been removed, torn and twisted up into a bundle. He had probably used a trial and error to see if that could be used as a rope for some trick. He had tried using everything in the room, exploring all possible options of escape. The traces could be seen throughout the room and even in the bathroom. The empty bathtub was stained with just a bit of blood and the nippers lay there on the bathroom, or on the bottom, I mean. To protect this tale, he had nearly been prepared to accept Berncastle's brutal method of escape, cutting himself into pieces and washing himself down the drain. He was even willing to tear apart his own body to protect the game that Beato had entrusted him with. He had probably questioned himself over and over and over in this bathtub, wondering if there was any other way out. By the clock of the game world, not even a single day had passed. However, just how many years has it been in the closed room of the logic error? When faced with an endless span of time, any way of ending it, no matter how cruel, is tempting. However, he had rejected that until the very end. And even in the last moment when his heart died, he had wanted so much to show his iron will to escape from this closed room that he had chosen to fall here in the corridor with a chain still around his neck.
バトラ様、カノンです。どうか、お気をしっかり。
He wiped Butler's face with a towel wetted in that sink. In response to that cold sensation, Butler's heart slowly started beating again.
そうです。カノンです。よくぞ今日まで耐え忍ばれました。
ちょいと寝坊が過ぎたみてえだ。
Butler realized that the feel of the towel on his neck meant that the cursed collar and chain were gone.
もうバトラ様を縛るものは何もありません。さあ早くお戻りください。
でもよ、あのチェーンを開けるとまた鎖につながれちまう。
大丈夫です。もうバトラ様を縛る鎖は存在しません。僕がここに残ります。
なんだって。
By now, Butler knew the terror of this endless closed room better than anyone else. So he was more filled with shock than happiness, a shock at the determination of the one who was willing to become the new prisoner.
僕は大丈夫です。何も心配することはありません。
しかし
バトラ様はまだやらなければならないことが終わりなのではないですか。
俺は
早くお戻りを。あなたの代わりに戦っている人がいる。そしてあなたの帰りを待っている人がいる。あなたはまた帰らないのですか。
His stern words and gaze shot straight through Butler.
本当にいいのか。
はい、それでいいんです。これであの時の借りが返せるのですから。
借り？俺カノン君に何か。
バトラ様の借りではありません。いいから言ってください。僕は借りを作らない主義なんです。さあ早く。あなたは今度こそ待たせてはいけないんです。だから早く。
Butler couldn't argue back anymore. He silently bowed his head, unset the chain, and opened the door. Cannon had remained in the room, so no chain appeared about Butler's neck. He could leave this closed room just by running out. The happy-sounding voices that he had heard at the far end of the corridor had been replaced with an excited chatter. There must have been some sort of strange disturbance going on. As Cannon went out into the corridor to see me off, the merciless collar and chain had already captured their new prisoner. He would remain inside this endless closed room in Butler's place.
カノン君、俺もだぜ。
何がですか。
俺も借りを作らない男だぜ。この恩は必ず返す。それもすぐにだ。
期待していいやら。さあ走って。あなたの愛する人のところへ。
Run, run to the one you love.
そしてどうかもう二度と迷わないで。
Butler didn't turn back again. He ran with everything he had. He ran out into the corridor whose warmth he had cursed so many times. That cursed chain no longer bound him. He ran to the very end of the corridor beyond the light. Canon, still connected to the chain, watched him go and then quietly returned to the guest room. Now he had only had to worry about his own job. Stay in this room and fix the error in logic.
これでチェーンロックをかけて。
As soon as he said it, the chain disappeared from his neck. Then, if he hid in one place Erica hadn't checked, the broken logic would be fixed. The closet door opened slowly. It was well oiled and opened without a sound. It was cramped inside and dark. This tiny space is the last place I'll see. As long as I remain hidden in here, the logic will be preserved.
簡単な仕事だな。バラの手入れより簡単さ。
Canon went in and closed the double doors from the inside. As soon as he did, a single small gold butterfly appeared, melted into the darkness of the closet, and vanished. It was a sign that the logic had been fixed. The witch's game had already stopped, and the clock of the world of the pieces would never tick again. So for all eternity, no one would come to save him from this place.
別にいいさ。これで借りは返したよ。ベアトリーチェ。
The power of the gold butterfly brooch taught me about love. In the third game, it gave me some quiet time alone with Jessica. I get the feeling it did many other small things for me. At any rate, I've paid back all of my debts now. Now all of my debts are...
ジェシカが貸してくれた音楽テープ返してないや。いいよね、ジェシカ。あれ気に入ってたんだ。だからプレゼントにしてもらってもいいかな。ダビングして渡すから。ダメ？
Slowly, Canon's body began to melt into a cloud of gold butterflies. And after the inside of the cramped dark closet glittered like a golden planetarium. It faded away like the light of the fireflies and was painted over by a pitch blackness. For all eternity. What happens now? We're back. Okay, so let's take a break here. So, yeah, I think we are gonna be having the investigations again, right? No, I thought it was gonna be now, but yeah, it's gonna be for sure next time. And how that happened. Yeah, how did Canon go there, right? There's gonna be an explanation, of course, there. But it's nice that we got Beatrice back. Maybe they fused already. It's just a little bit confusing. Maybe we'll get a much more detailed, or I guess confirmation later on. We'll find out. But anyways, we are gonna continue this and do more of Umineko and the Cry episode 6 in the next one. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye bye.